Tasmania, the ideal place for a road trip. Featuring a bit of everything, on-road, off-road, ski fields to beach driving, with options for camping or cosy accommodation, all without having to travel huge distances. Here are a few suggestions from a trip we did recently. If based in Launceston, for a good day trip, head to the high country and the peak of Mount Barrow and the ski fields of Ben Lomond. Nearing the summit of Mount Barrow, the gravel road zigzags through scree slopes with impressive dolerite cliffs towering in the background. At approximately 1400 metres above sea level, the views are expansive. Within the Ben Lomond National Park is the imposing mountain of the same name. The final section of road up to the plateau and ski fields zigzags up the side of the mountain and is known as Jacob's Ladder. Completed in 1964, since then there have been improvements made to the road, but it still claims to be one of the steepest and most hairpin zigzag roads in the world. Views from the Watchtower Lookout are spectacular, and on a clear day you may get a glimpse of the Bass Strait Islands. Just don't look down. Ben Lomond National Park is the main destination for alpine sports in Tasmania. The ski season can extend from early July to late September. Back in Launceston is the ever-popular Cataract Gorge Reserve, with its river, walking tracks, swimming pool, chairlift and cafes. The chairlift is the longest single-span chairlift of its kind in the world. On the east coast, within Mount William National Park, is Eddystone Point and the historic Eddystone Lighthouse and Lighthouse Keepers buildings. The pristine granite structures were built in 1889 in response to many ships being shipwrecked on nearby rocks. Further south down the coast is the Bay of Fires and the Gardens, where huge boulders are covered with bright orange lichen. The nearby town of St Helens has a choice of camping, caravan parks and motel accommodation. Inland from St Helens at Pyangana is an interesting dairy worth calling into. Pyangana Dairy continues the tradition of the local farmers who have been handcrafting cloth-matured farmhouse cheddar for over 130 years. The on-site milking shed uses a robotic milking system, which allows the cows to come and go whenever they like. That's if they ever want to leave. In the nearby mountains are two waterfalls, also worth a visit. The walk into St Columba Falls takes about 15 minutes through lush, mossy rainforest. Ralph's Falls are not far away in the Mount Victoria Forest Reserve. In contrast to St Columba Falls, Ralph's are a single drop falls, plunging into Cash's Gorge. Further inland is the township of Ledgerwood. When a row of trees, planted to remember those who died in World War I, were condemned as too dangerous, the locals had the trunks carved by chainsaw sculptor Eddie Freeman. Coles Bay on Freycinet Peninsula is set up for the tourists, and there are plenty of accommodation options here. Cruises from Great Oyster Bay explore the southern tip of the peninsula out into the Tasman Sea and onto the beautiful Wineglass Bay. During the cruise, you may visit a seal colony, and if you're lucky you might spot a whale or two. Port Arthur Historic Penal Settlement is a tourist hotspot down on the Tasman Peninsula. On the way there, just before Eaglehawk Neck, is the unusual geological formation known as the tessellated pavement. The cracks in the flat rock are so regularly spaced that it's hard to believe that the layout occurred naturally. The Port Arthur Historic Convict Site has more than 30 historic buildings to explore, over 40 hectares. The buildings were mainly constructed by convict labour between 1830 and 1877. Tickets allow entry for 2 consecutive days and include an introductory walking tour and a 20-minute cruise of the harbour with its Isle of the Dead. More than 250,000 people visit Port Arthur each year. Australia's oldest bridge is found in Richmond. It is a fine example of early colonial bridge engineering and was completed in 1825. The town itself features many buildings from the early colonial era. We moved on to Hobart, where various day trips can be launched here. But first, we visited the market held at Salamanca Place, next to the Hobart waterfront, which operates every Saturday between 8:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Starting with only 12 stalls back in 1972, it now boasts over 300 stallholders. To the west of Hobart is the Mount Field National Park. The main attraction here are the waterfalls. Russell Falls, reputedly the most beautiful falls in Tasmania, are easily accessed by a paved walking track. A further climb leads up to the smaller, more intimate Horseshoe Falls. West of Geeveston on the Huon Highway is the Tarhuon Airwalk. The 30-metre high walkway gives great canopy views of rainforest trees such as myrtle, beech, sassafras and leatherwood. When visiting here, it's probably best to choose a day that's not too windy and wild, especially when on the cantilever section hanging over the Huon River. The town of Geeveston is interesting with its wood carvings of past residents and for its amazing lolly shop. Hastings Caves are located further south from Geeveston. The Newdigate Cave was officially opened in 1939 and is the largest dolomite cave with public access in Australia. Leaving Hobart behind, the west coast now beckoned. Right in the middle of Tasmania, at Wadamana, is Tasmania's first hydroelectric power station, now opened as a museum. Officially opened in 1916, it heralded Tasmania's move into the industrial age. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Queenstown was the centre of a gold and copper mining district. In its heyday, along with numerous smelters, brickworks and sawmills, it had a collection of hotels, theatres, churches and schools. Today, one of its main attractions is the West Coast Wilderness Railway. The railway is unique as the locomotives use a rack and pinion system to give positive traction on the steep sections. The nearby fishing town of Strahan is known for its Macquarie Harbour and Gordon River cruises, and the historical penal colony on Sarah Island. We chose a cruise from Strahan down the Macquarie Harbour and out and back through the notorious Hell's Gate, the narrow entrance to the harbour at Macquarie Heads. This excitement was followed by a tour of Sarah Island, Tasmania's first penal settlement, established in 1822. During its 11-year existence, it was described as a place of degradation, depravity and woe. The lower Gordon River section of the cruise includes a visit to the largest area of cool temperate rainforests left on the planet. If you are driving a four-wheel drive, there is a track that follows the coast from Granville Harbour to the Conical Rocks. This track has a bit of everything, including sand, water crossings, beach driving, rocky jump-ups and great scenery. It's recommended to get local advice on the track conditions, as there can be some issues with quicksand. Corinna offers a great opportunity for a cruise down the Pieman River to the Heads and back. If coming from the south, you need to cross the river using the barge known as the Fat Man, an experience in itself. The cruise on the Pieman River is on the 1939 built Arcadia II, believed to be the only Huon-Pine river cruiser in operation anywhere in the world. The now scarce Huon pine is ideal for boat building due to its resistance to rotting. Accommodation at Corinna is also unique. As well as the minor-style cottages, there is a campground and accommodation at the old pub. Gardner Point has been given the title Edge of the World, as the sea west of Tasmania is the longest uninterrupted expanse of ocean on the globe. The plaque at the end of the boardwalk invites you to cast a pebble onto the shore of eternity. In the northwest is the coastal town of Stanley, which is situated on a narrow peninsula. The rather impressive geological feature, a massive volcanic plug, is known as the Nut. A paved walking path goes to the top, and there is a chairlift as a less energetic option. There is a circuit path around the top with stunning views in all directions. Southeast of Stanley and well away from the coast are Dip Falls and the Big Tree. The upper tier of the falls can be viewed from a lookout point near the road. Access to the base of the falls is via a flight of stairs and a boardwalk. A little further along the road is the short walking track to the Big Tree. Found in a remnant patch of old-growth forest, the giant bulbous brown-top stringy bark has a height of 62 metres and an impressive girth of 16 metres. Our next destination was Cradle Mountain National Park, situated within the Tasmania Wilderness World Heritage Area. There are several walks in the national park, from the circuit around Dove Lake with its amazing reflections to the more challenging Marian's Lookout and beyond. It should be noted that weather conditions can change with little warning, and warm clothes and wet gear should be carried. If travelling through the Mersey Forth Hydro Catchment Area, a spectacular feature called the Devil's Gullet is worth a visit. From the lookout, there are dramatic views looking into a steep, narrow glacial gorge, with views that include Cradle Mountain and Tasmania's highest point, Mount Ossa. Sheffield, a dairy farming town, is world renowned for high-quality butterfat products. It is also well known for its murals depicting the town's history and natural surroundings. There are over 140 murals covering the town, each year attracting over 200,000 tourists. And then only a leisurely drive to Devonport if you are heading back to the mainland via the ferry. From our limited suggestions for a road trip of places to go and things to do, it is easy to see how much Tasmania has to offer the tourist and adventurer, and all in such a compact package.